Good afternoon, and welcome to the Met and to what wines to drink today. Today, we're going to be talking about Alsatian wines. Well, where is Alsace? Alsace is located in the northeast corner of France, perfectly situated between the Vosges Mountains on the west and the Rhine River of Germany on the east. Alsace is really an amalgam of German and French culture. Alsace is known for a number of wonderful things, including hundreds of year-old walled cities, cobbled villages, beautiful vineyards, ruined castles, great food, and very friendly people. What kind of wines do they make in Alsace? Well, one of the first things you'll notice with most Alsatian wines is the long and thin bottle, which differs greatly from a lot of the Californian wines. So the first thing, again, you'll notice with Alsatian wines is that the bottle looks different. The other thing you'll notice in terms of wines is that most Alsatian wines are white. The varietals in the Alsace region include about only 6% of black grapes, and those are mostly Pinot Noir. Historically, the wines in Alsace are bone dry, firm, and strong, and only recently have they moved toward having relative sweetness in the wine. The reason why they have a little bit of sweetness is because they add a little sugar just at the end of the fermentation process, not to necessarily sweeten the wine, but to increase the alcoholic content. There are a number of different grapes or varietals that are grown in the Alsace region, but there are 4 major grapes: Riesling, Muscat, Pinot Gris, and Gewürztraminer. Well, how do these wines taste? Well, in general, there is really not much oak, and if there is any oak used at all in the fermentation process, it's old oak. And what does that mean? It means that since it's old oak, a lot of the woody oak flavors are not going to be imposed onto the wines. You're going to get wines that are very fruity on the nose, mostly dry, but sometimes sweet. For example, this Gewürztraminer that we have, okay, is a Grand Cru from Alsace. It's from Domaine B&G, and this, look, it's a very sweet nose, late harvest, mostly kind of like a dessert quality wine. Wonderful nose, very yellow. When you swirl it in the glass, you'll see it has a little bit of viscosity, meaning that it sticks to the glass. Very sweet, dessert quality, delicious. And then we have other wines, such as this Hugel, that is a blend of all the major varietals, and it's much lighter. In fact, if you look at the difference between the two, you have one that's very, very yellow and one that is much lighter in color. Similar grapes on both. Gewürztraminer is in this one as well. Again, crisp, clean, hardly any oak. Delicious. The Gewürz and sweet, I could see this pairing very well with bread pudding. We have a couple of other wines here that I'd like us to look at. First is a Raleigh Gassman. This is a Riesling, 100% Riesling. The Raleigh Gassman, the vineyard has been around since about 1661. In the small area of Alsace, there are 21 different soil types that this Riesling is made from. So you're going to have Riesling from 21 different areas, all combined into this wine. And it pairs, this wine for an evening here at the Met would pair very nicely with our Faroe Island salmon. This is the B&G, the Pinot d'Alsace. It's a blend from a number of different wines in Alsace. Now this winery, interesting story, was completely destroyed in World War II. But it's come back very well, creating a very broad and fresh tasting wine. It pairs very well with stronger dishes, especially ones with cream sauce. In fact, what's on our menu now, what we recommend you having is this wine by the glass with one of our Alsatian pizzas. This is a new menu item on the Met's dinner menu that has homemade creme fraiche, lardons, which is a bacon, and a little light cheese on a very crisp, flat bread. It's very creamy, a little bit on the heavier side. A wine like this B&G would pair very well with it if you came in for dinner. If you remember from last week when we were talking about champagne, You can't call a sparkling wine champagne unless it's grown in the Champagne region. But if you do have a sparkling wine from France that is produced in the same traditional method, you can call it a Cremant. Well, this is a Cremant, a drier style. It's a drier style brut. It would go very nicely with something like bacon wrapped dates. Until I see you again, have a wonderful afternoon. And here's to wasting time effectively.